Hi, my name is Carlos Rivera, and this is my video for the Module 4 Activity 2, where we had to use MATLAB and COMSOL to analyze a plate like this one that's 1 meter length in each side. It has two different temperatures, and we had to see how the temperature changed inside this plate, and we could choose whatever material we wished. To start, I made the code for MATLAB where basically first I defined the length of the square plates and the number of nodes that were asked for me to do so, that were 50. Then I had to put the space between each node by dividing the length by the number of nodes minus one. Then I placed the variables for the 200 degrees Celsius temperature and the 100 degrees Celsius temperature. In the code, I placed them in Kelvin due to the fact that COMSOL works in Kelvin, so I could compare the graphs correctly. Then I made the matrix of T temperature and filled it with zeros. Then the top and the bottom parts, I filled it either with the 200 temperature or the 100 degrees Celsius. And I placed a tolerance for the error that's very low and a maximum number of iterations of 5,000. This was to look for the most exact graph that we could have while maintaining a certain sense of how many iterations the code it was able to make. So to start, I had to made a while operator that looked that the error was lower, the error was bigger than the tolerance, and the iterations were not surpassing the maximum iterations we could have. I had to make another matrix that was defined by the first temperature matrix that I have. And then I had to change the value of I and J to study each node in the code. After this makes a various iterations until the error is lower than the tolerance or equal to the tolerance. And to ensure that the iterations don't exceed the maximum iterations, we had to add one after each iteration. After that, it was very easy just to print the graph as I will show you here. It prints the graph and it gives us the temperature in each point when we use a cursor. And here we can see all the temperatures that it uses, and it shows the change in this axis. After that, I use the COMSOL system to make again the geometry. There was a plate that was 1 meter long each side. I chose a material, in this case aluminum, and I placed the initial temperature values for the plate. Then I made the mesh. I used the extra fine because the extra fine mesh has 6,000 the domain elements, which are about the same number of nodes that we would have in the MATLAB code, which is about 2,500. Then I included the stationary study and I clicked compute and I got this graph that's very similar. In conclusion, we can see that both graphs are very similar, even though the methods of which they compute the temperatures are different. You want using the MATLAB uses the Gauss-Seidel method, iteration method, and the COMSOL uses a finite element method. And this confirms that our calculations in both cases are correct. Thank you very much.